Stuck at home? It's time to start a podcast. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 tactical tips on how you can start a podcast today from home. Sebastian Rusk with the Podcast Launch Lab. Tip number 1, download the Anchor app on your phone or go to anchor.fm on your browser. Either way, has a web interface and an app too. Phenomenal solution. The best part about anchor.fm, it's free. Now, hear me out on this. Anchor allows you to create a podcast, record a podcast, edit a podcast, post a podcast, market a podcast, monetize a podcast for free, all within their platform. I don't know about you, but the last time I checked, free is a great price. Once you've downloaded the Anchor app, you need to figure out what you're going to call your show. Every show needs a name, every show needs a topic, and you need to figure out those details as you create your show name. I'm going to explain how to do that in the next tip. So after you've downloaded Anchor and you've come up with your show name, it's time to actually type it in and create your Anchor account so your show is actually created within your account. Does that make sense? So download the app, create an Anchor account, create a show, name the show, put the description in there. You can put the artwork together. All that fun stuff is provided all within the Anchor application. Yes, that's correct. You can name the show and then create your own album art with their little album art wizard tool that they've got in there. Once you've figured out your name, you put the description in and your Anchor account is completely set up. Now it's time to start talking about what you're going to do for episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4. I only want you to focus on the first 4 right now because that's a realistic number. You can focus on 1, 2 if you'd like, but why not record 4 episodes coming out of the gates and build some momentum for yourself? You'll be glad that you did later. Number 1, number 2, we live in this binge watch, binge world, binge listen environment where we want everything yesterday. So if we hear one episode and we liked it, why do we have to wait for another one? Netflix kind of ruined that for all of us, but that's the world and society we're living in right now. So try to get 4 episodes under your belt when you start the show. But listen, if you've only gotten 1, hey, you're still starting your podcast, and that's the most important part. In the last tip, I'm going to show you how to structure these episodes, how to get them posted, and how to tell people about it. All right, so the account's set up. Your show has been created. You've got a show name. How exciting is that? You've hopefully filled in the description. You definitely want to do that because when people find your podcast in iTunes or Spotify or Anchor or wherever, it says your show name. Well, not to have a description there doesn't tell anybody what the show is all about. So take the time to put a paragraph or 2 in there about your show, brag about yourself a little bit, and educate people about what your show is. Now it's time to take out a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen if that's how you roll. And it's time to write on the top of the page episode 1 and draw a line under it. Underneath that, we're going to write the word title, : what's the title of the first episode? And then we're going to put 1, 2, 3 down the page. And we're going to write 3 key points that we're going to talk about pertaining to that topic and any other relevant information that you may end up talking about in that episode. If you want to reference links or a brand or a person or an individual, go ahead and write their names down and any specific links. Now, this may sound kind of elementary to sit down with a piece of paper and a pencil and literally jot these out, but au contraire, you will be so glad that you did once you're done recording the episode, just for the simple fact that this allows you to actually create what we like to call a run of show. It allows you to say, what's the title of the episode? What are 3 key points that we're talking about? What are some other valuable information that we talked about on the episode that we want to be able to include in this description, which is actually your show notes. So for instance, when you're in the middle of an episode and you're like, I really love that shirt. I bought it from this retailer. There's a link in the show notes and the description of this episode where you can buy one of these shirts too. You understand? It's a point of reference for you when you're actually doing your podcast because it's audio. So people want to be able to go to specific places that you may request or suggest rather that they do. And that allows you to do that. So once you've got this run of show put together, the title, 3 key points, a little notes section. Some things are going to come up during the episode. You're going to want to include all those. Once you've got that, Here, friend, you are ready to hit the record button. You can do that by utilizing the app. You can record it right on your phone. That's probably the easiest way. Or you can utilize a USB mic or whatever setup you may have. Heck, you could use your earphones as long as they have a microphone on them. And you're going to actually record your first episode. Once you're done recording your episode, you're going to upload it to Anchor, and Anchor will walk you through step by step on the easiest process ever to create a podcast. I'm telling you, you're literally dragging and dropping. You're creating, you can record an intro, you can record the actual, you can put musical transitions in, and you can monetize your show right out of the gates. You don't make much. You make a couple pennies here and a couple pennies there, but it was more you were making before you started your podcast. Spotify allows you to do that. You can include ads in your episode that you record. So it sounds really legitimate as it's your show with your ads. And if people, they put you out in their Anchor network as people discover Anchor through your show, they compensate you accordingly. Again, welcome to the future. Once you've recorded episode 1 and you've uploaded it to Anchor, now it's time to tell all your friends and family and neighbors and every person that you know about your podcast. And it's also time to start recording episodes 2, 3, and 4. So the same model that I gave you for structuring your show should be utilized for future episodes forever. Why? Because your run a show becomes your show notes become your description, and well, it just all comes together. 3 simple steps to start a podcast from home. It's all about Anchor, obviously. Follow these steps and you can start a podcast today from home. Well, I hope you're leaving this video knowing at least 1 or 2 things that you didn't know about starting a podcast from home today. Hey, if you haven't done so already, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. This way you'll get updates as new videos become available. I'm Sebastian Rusk with the Podcast Launch Lab. I'll see you next time.